What rank 30s take the least amount of skill? I'm going to rank these brawlers based on their current state in the game, number 1 being the least skillful of all. Starting it off at number 8, we have one of the most broken brawlers in the game, and that is Angelo. Now I know what you're thinking, Angelo is a sniper, and most snipers in this game take a little bit of skill to play. That's true, but even if you are just half decent with hitting your shots with this brawler, you should be able to climb trophies relatively easy, and that's just because this brawler's mechanics are broken overall. I'm not going to go into too much detail on what makes him broken, because if you guys have played Brawl Stars in the past 30 days, you know what I'm talking about. But briefly, I'll just say between his movement speed, his damage, and his healing, he's just incredibly strong. Moving on to number 7, we have Melody. You'd think she would be a little bit higher on this list, but believe it or not, you need at least a little bit of brains to play this brawler. Well, more than the other brawlers on this list, but she's still probably the easiest brawler in the game to push right now, and that's once again because her mechanics are just broken. I guess it does kind of depend a little bit on what mode you're going to be playing with her. If you do it in Brawl Ball, you're going to need a little bit more common sense, but if you play Heist, you literally just dash forward and walk in a circle around the safe. Melody's probably never going to get any easier to play, and I really don't want to imagine what a hypercharge on her is going to look like, but if you haven't pushed her, definitely give it a try. Going on to number 6, we have Shelly. She has definitely had her stronger points and weaker points in the meta, but right now I'd say she's in a pretty good spot. The map pool right now is incredibly in her favor. There's so many bushy maps, especially in Brawl Ball, and she does so well against some of the main brawlers in the meta, like BB, Jackie, even Melody she can do pretty well against. Pair her up on the right map with like a Max Sandy combo, and I promise you she's going to destroy. With that being said, Shelly is not a very high skill cap brawler, especially in Showdown. She is the queen of Showdown. Once you get your super, nobody's even going to mess with you because they know a Shelly super is almost always instant death for them. But for a shotgun brawler and a shotgun super, there's only one thing you can really do, and that's smack that auto aim button and just walk away with your trophies, which is why this brawler is number 6 on this list. Number 5, we have everybody's favorite main, Edgar. The only thing that you have to understand about this brawler is when to jump and when not to jump. There's rarely any time that you're not spamming auto aim when you're playing this brawler, which is another reason why this brawler is just completely skillless. But realistically, as long as you understand your matchups and you're not jumping directly onto Shelly supers, you should be able to gain trophies most of the time. Number 4, we have Fang. I don't care who you are, I don't care what you say, this brawler is no skill. It's always those random enemy Fangs in Brawl Ball that just spam that big yellow button and ruin your win streak, and that's really all there is to this brawler. Pushing Fang under 1,000 trophies is basically free. A lot of your enemies are just not going to understand the fact that they shouldn't be clumping up together, and that's why I can't play with randoms, because my randoms always stand on top of me when there's a Fang with super. I don't know if they think that hiding behind me is going to increase their chances of survivability, but they always find out the hard way, and it's never a good outcome. Next up for number 3, we have Meg. If there was ever any reason for me to quit this game, it was probably because I just played a game of Showdown where there was 9 spinning Megs and they were all shooting at me. First of all, this brawler is just complete spam. You don't even need to aim. It doesn't matter that you don't do that much damage because you'll continue to just chip them down regardless. Secondly, you literally have a second life. They pop you out of Meg form, you go into baby form, and for some reason, baby Meg has the same range as like a Piper, and you just get your Meg form back and it's just repeat. And third, you have so many hit points and a healing gadget that you barely even need to dodge. You can just run into shots if you'd like. Now with all that being said, there is absolutely nothing left of her that could possibly take any skill. Every time I see somebody with a rank 30 Meg, I kind of just disregard it because it's basically free. Now we're getting into the top 2 brawlers, and these are the ones that kind of just make me lose my cool the moment I see them on the enemy team. Number 2 is Chuck, and if you know how to draw a straight line or a triangle, then you're pretty much set for your rank 30. Aside from putting your tracks down, you could probably make it all the way to rank 30 only using auto aim. He's broken if you play him in Heist or Hut Zone, which are really the only 2 modes you should be playing him in. I think he needs a fat nerf. I don't really know what could be done. Maybe reduce the number of tracks that he can put down because 4 is a lot and it's a lot of control. Or at least just reduce the amount of damage that his tracks do when they run you over because they do a lot, and with the spam ability you can just go back and forth on it. $6.49 combo deal from McDonald's, get a Big Mac, large fry, anything you want. Okay, we're gonna ignore that, but yeah, like I said, the amount of damage that you can do, especially with the spam ability of just going back and forth, it's too much, man. And last but not least, we have the most brain-dead brawler of all, and that is Kit. As you guys all know, recently Kit got a 400 damage buff, which is an absolutely insane number, especially for a brawler who has a 200% power cube bonus as a star power. That itself is probably the most broken part about him. There's really no point in even competing with him if he has more than like 3 or 4 power cubes in Showdown, unless of course you're an RT, but even then it can be dangerous. I don't think there's any chance at him being balanced in Showdown and 3v3 at the same time without removing or just reworking that star power altogether, because it's just way too powerful. And even if you're somebody who just despises Showdown and will never play that mode, Kit is also super strong in 3v3 at the moment. His ability to jump on friendly tanks and give them what seems like infinite healing, especially when you're going against them, has got to be one of the most damn near game-breaking mechanics we've seen from any brawler, making him a very viable option for basically any of the 3v3 modes, but especially Knockout, because not only do you have the mechanics that I've already mentioned, but Supercell decided that was not enough and they needed to give him a gadget that not only makes him invisible, but charges his super at an increased rate of speed. Even though his gadget is only 3 seconds long, that's really all the time you need to make a game-winning play. And now with his main attack doing 2,000 damage per shot, that's 6,000 in burst damage plus a super jump if you need that. Anyways, moral of the story, in my opinion, this brawler takes 0 skill to play, and it's basically a free rank 30 for anybody in any mode that you prefer to play in. So go ahead and leave your opinions down below. Yeah, this Edgar knows what's up. He's not even gonna mess with me. He knows that Kit is completely broken. That's gonna do it for this video though, guys. I do apologize for the gap in my uploading. I do plan on uploading a lot more consistently very soon, so stay tuned for that. And without further ado, peace.
Legendary.
Mr. Bat wants to play.